I love doing that. She's relatively new, but she's damn funny. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for Brandie Williams.
I'm definitely not the headliner, so just moderate your expectations.
Stop laughing.
Yeah. So, I grew up in Kentucky, and I might be one of the only Kentucky Jews other than the other people in my family. But it was a weird dynamic because my dad's kind of a redneck. He's not a Jew, but my mom's a Jew. Anyway, so things have always been a little weird around my dad. The rest of my family is pretty liberal, and then dad is kind of the good old boy. And it's always kind of hard to talk to him about some things. You know, he's not super progressive or anything. And one thing he always told me is, well, you know, the one thing that you can do to get yourself kicked out of this house forever is bring home a black guy. And, you know, that was all well and good when I was in Kentucky, but then I got kind of fat, and, you know, when you're a thick girl, yeah, you know, you gotta take what you can get. So there's that. And in the meantime, I was suspicious about my little brother for a very long time, and at first I just figured it was like sibling rivalry or whatever, but I always kind of thought, this kid might be gay. And I remember one time we were driving out to go skiing in Indiana, because obviously primo skiing out there, and I thought, well, I'm gonna trick him into coming out to me right now. We're close, we're like this. And like Elton John came on the iPod, and I was like, you know, he's singing along, and I was kind of like, you know, Ryan, if there's anything you ever want to tell me, you know, I'm really integrated in the LGBT community and blah, blah, blah. And so is there's anything? And he's like, your iPod is weird. So that was not the time to do it. But eventually he did come out, and I was just so excited. But we were talking about how do we break this to dad. You know, mom was going to be cool, but, you know, what are we going to do about our little redneck father and stuff? And so we came up with this plan. And what we were going to do is we were going to sit dad down in a chair right here, the front door's back there, and we were going to sit him down and have a very serious conversation, and it was going to end like this. Ryan was going to go, Dad, I love Dick. And then I was going to go, Dad, I love Black Dick. And they were both going to run out the door and out of the inheritance. Go, Williams siblings, go. But that didn't happen. Like, it was fine when he came out and everything. That was cool. You know, when my brother did finally, like, introduced me to all of his gay friends that he had made all by himself, and he was like really excited and proud. Well, he got involved in like this very, you know, nice, buttoned up, you know, doctors and lawyers, you know, type of community, and then there's me. So he takes me to this nice dinner at their house and all this stuff, and I'm at first very well behaved, and then drinks happen, and blah, blah, blah. At some point, I decide, oh, well, these are my people now, we're all good friends, and so I decide to bust out this little story that my little brother told to me, which was the first time that he did poppers. And so I was like, yeah, you know, it was so funny. Ryan was just like, yeah, this is what poppers are like. You do a line, or you take a little inhale or whatever, and then your ears make a sound like a vacuum cleaner, and then your butthole gets loose. Which I thought was a very, very funny line. But as soon as that came out of my mouth, you just see the horror, like, crossing across his face as he's trying to impress these people and everything. So I wasn't allowed to hang out with them for a long time. But no, I love my brother being gay, and but again, so that's just kind of our sense of humor is, you know, weird dick fart jokes, whatever. In my family, the highest sense, or the highest joke that you can tell is basically just ripping ass. So with that in mind, like, I was dating this guy for a long, long time, and we lived together, and blah, 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 and he hated farts, and he would always yell at me about farts, like, you know, so we weren't allowed to fart around each other. Okay, fine. So one night I'm laying in bed, and I wake myself up with a fart. And I'm going, did I wake myself up because I had to fart? Or did I fart and wake myself up? And to me there was like a big difference. Like it was a big mystery what came first, you know? So I'm laying there, and all of a sudden Jason just kind of, you know, leans over and he's like, shh, Spooky, it's okay, shh. He's comforting me. And I realized what he was doing, so I'm really afraid of thunder, and he does that same thing when it thunders. And I was like, oh my God, he just thought that it thundered. That's awful. Okay, so, you know, I just go back to sleep, whatever. And a few days later, I'm telling a mutual friend about this, and I was like, oh my God, you know, it's so funny, what came first, blah, blah, blah. And Jason looks at me, he's like, no, B, that's not what happened. What happened was, you were snoring your drunk ass off. I reached over and I poked you in the side so that you would wake up, and you farted and woke up and startled, and then I felt so bad for you that you just, I just comforted you instead. So, anyway, so that's my fart joke, and that's all I've got.